Hi everyone, my name is Milan and today I'm here to share a little bit about my experience as a part-time model and a full-time student. So for a little bit of context, I signed with my agency when I was 16 years old, and this was the time where I was still in junior college or high school. So this is definitely a very busy time for me because I had my time preoccupied with school tests, examinations, and well, just other extracurricular activities. Well, modeling was kind of just like a side job for me. It's a little side quest. I think it was just a way for me to, earn a little bit of money on the side. So today I'm here to share with you 5 things I wish I knew before I started modeling as a student. So the first thing that I wish I knew is the unstable income that came with being a model. As a student, it was quite difficult for me to attend casting on weekdays since I had to attend school and it was not possible for me to skip school. And so I had to miss a lot of castings, and in turn this really decreased the number of jobs that I could go for. You should consider how much time you have to dedicate to modeling, because a lot of the jobs and castings are on weekdays during school hours. So it's up to you to decide whether you want to skip school for a casting or have fewer jobs. Another thing that I wish I knew before I signed as a model is really the body image issues that come with being a model, because models are required to stick to a certain measurement. This is kind of like the job scope of being a model, so I do understand. Even though the industry and the market is becoming a lot more inclusive, well, a lot of brands and designers can still be very traditional and want the models to, be in a certain sample size. I signed as a 16-year-old, and now as an 18-year-old, of course, I had to go through puberty, and I've seen a lot of changes in my body. A lot of the times it was quite difficult for me to not spiral into self-hatred and self-destruction. I do remember when I was 17, I did kind of fall into this pit where I was counting calories and working out in a very unhealthy amount. And I think if you are preparing to go into this industry, it's very important to have a very strong headspace and mindset, and to be able to keep yourself healthy, because health and happiness is so much more important than starving yourself just to look a certain way. I definitely think there are still ways to keep yourself healthy and fit while still enjoying eating the things that you love. As long as everything is done in moderation, you're good to go. The third thing that I wish I knew would be the long commuting times and the long wait times for castings. So usually for castings it takes me almost an hour just to travel to the casting spot, and well, you don't even know if you're gonna get the job. This is definitely a sacrifice that you have to make as a model. What kept me occupied on the way was books that I enjoyed reading, and I just made sure that I made the most out of my commuting time. Sometimes even at the casting spots, they require you to wait for long periods of time, and I remember very vividly going for this one casting. When I showed up to the building, there were like at least 100 other models queuing in the same tiny space, and I wished that I had brought something to keep myself occupied while waiting for my turn, because it did take a very long amount of time. The fourth thing that I wish I knew would be to fake it till you make it. I had a lot of self-doubt as a new model, and sometimes it can be super nerve-wracking to go for castings, especially at the start. In my journey, I had to fake a lot of my confidence, even though, clearly when I was doing my catwalk, my legs were trembling a little bit, but you just try to not show it in the face. I remember going for this one casting for a very established company. At the casting area, all established and famous local models from Singapore, and I knew for a fact that I wasn't gonna get the job. When I went for the catwalk in front of the casting director, I walked with the most confidence that I've ever had in my entire life, even though my legs were trembling. And well, unexpectedly I got the job with 5 other very well-established models, and that was definitely super cool for me as a new model. So yeah, even if you're nervous, just fake it till you make it. The last thing that I like to talk about is building a community. So sometimes as a new model, it can be very, very nerve-wracking to attend castings. But when you make friends with people in your agency or in the industry in general, you tend to see a lot of these models at castings, and it makes you really feel a lot less nervous. It's always nice to see familiar faces around. And sometimes, when you're facing a problem and you don't feel comfortable enough to approach your bookers, I think having model friends is a good way to talk about some of these problems, because trust me, they are probably going through the same things that you are. So yeah, I think it's definitely important to, reach out to a couple models in your agency, and don't be afraid to follow them on Instagram and just make friends. So yeah, that was the 5 things that I wish I knew before I started modeling as a student. I hope this video is useful for any other aspiring models. And if you do have any questions, or if you do want to share your own experience modeling as a student, please do drop them in the comments below. And I would also really appreciate a like and a subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. And yeah, see you in the next one.